Hello everyone, today we're looking at inflation. Now we're looking at a very simplified version of inflation. This is not an economics course, so let's just look at a very simple definition today. So simply speaking, inflation is the increase in the price of goods over time. So as time goes on, things become more expensive generally. For example, I'm going to look at the cost of milk. So the cost of milk has been increasing over time. So looking at some old charts, we're going to be talking about a quart of milk, which is a very weird measurement, but it's about a litre. It's close to a litre. So in 1980, roughly a litre of milk was about 63 cents. In 1990, it was 85 cents. In 1999, it was $1.40. And jump to today, it's about $1.60 for a litre of milk. Now, there's so much more going on in the background here, but just to keep it super simple, over time, milk became more expensive. The price has inflated. If we have a look at Australia's inflation rates, now don't be overwhelmed by this chart, okay? Let's just focus on this final column here. We can see that in 2016, prices got 1.3% more expensive, and then 1.9%. Right when COVID hit, inflation was pretty low because we were struggling to keep the economy going. But we jump to today, 2022, 2023, and 2024, inflation's really high. So we can see there's a constant trend of prices getting more expensive over time. So the longer that time goes on, the more expensive things tend to be. Alrighty, let's look at some simple examples. So in 2023, cupcakes were sold in a bakery for $4 each. Due to inflation, the cupcakes are expected to increase in price by 5% each year. How much would a cupcake be expected to cost in 2024 and in 2030? Alright, let's do the first part first. So a 5% increase is 1.05 as a decimal. So $4 times 1.05 is $4.20. So in 2024, you can expect to pay an extra 20 cents on this cupcake, so a total of $4.20. Now for 2030, we're just going to do that 5% increase, but 7 times in a row. So that's why I've used a power of 7. 1.05 to the power of 7. Now you'll want to use a calculator for this, but $4 times 1.05 to the power of 7, so just increasing by 5% again and again and again, it's $5.63. So in the year 2030, we can expect to pay $5.63 for this cupcake. So again, the price has inflated. Now, I've made a huge assumption here that it's 5% every year, but as you saw in the previous chart, the inflation rates are different every year. So this is just like a big assumption, but it's just showing you how it works. Now, an extra $1.30 or so for a cupcake might not seem too bad, but let's look at another example here. At the start of 2020, a certain house was able to be built for $450,000. Due to inflation, building costs increased by an average of 6.3% per year. How much would it cost to build this house at the start of 2024 and the start of 2030? So first thing we need to realize that 6.3% is 1.063. Now at the start of 2024, 4 years have gone past. So 450,000 times 1.063 to the power of 4 is $574,573.47. So that's our expected cost. Now, that's 6.3% for 4 years. That's like $124,000 more. That is a lot of money for the average person. So, inflation is really not good. Let's look at 2030 and see what happens there. So, 2030 would be 10 years after 2020. So, if we do it to the power of 10, we get an even sadder number. $828,982.11. It's nearly doubled in price over 10 years. This is all due to inflation and things becoming more expensive over time. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. So today was just a simplified overview of inflation. As long as you understand that over time things become more expensive generally, you've got the idea. Any questions, let me know down in the comments. Have an awesome day.